Okay, I thought I'd make a film about this new motorhome that I bought. Bought it the other day. It's a Pilote called a D34. I'd not come across it before, but I was on the lookout for something small, and this is about 5.5 meters, I suppose. Sleeps 4. And it's on a W plate, which makes it a 2000. Now when I looked around it, I bought it from a dealer, so there's no comeback. When I looked around it, really impressed. It's got gas low refillable bottles. It's got a little solar panel, bike rack, but that'll probably come off because I don't like hanging bikes off the back of a motorhome. It weakens the structure, but as you can see, fairly tidy motorhome, and yeah, I was pleased with it, and I still am pleased with it. But why I'm making this film is because of this. I'll have to open that later. Now bear in mind that I've had it a couple of days, so I've totally stripped it down. Now when I bought the motorhome, we could smell, I thought it was smokers that had it, but as I was about to find out, what it is damp, and much more damp than I thought. Now the actual body of it, all around here, this area still needs cleaning. That lino's just damp. They had some kind of cool box set up in here with some idiots. So you've got the blown heating coming through here, and they had some kind of ice box. So you're going to obviously get moisture in a place like that. But it's thankfully it's confined just to the lino, and I'm going to redo this fabric here because it's just too gone. But it's a lovely small motorhome, but not small as in cramped, that you're kind of tripping over each other. So it's got a galley kitchen here, fridge as usual suspects. Then it's got a hanging wardrobe here, which for size of motorhome is fairly good. In fact, that's bigger than some 8-meter Heimers that I've had in the past. So that's really good. Boiler down the bottom, blown heating, and also a fire, which is good. And then at the rear of the motorhome, there's a bathroom. Now bear in mind that I've already started taking this to bits because I'm going to spray the cabinets and things. I've done that in the past and it turns out really well. But as you can see, you walk into the toilet area, and there's a separate shower area. So separate shower area in a van this size is just brilliant, because someone could be having a shower but you could still use the loo. So really impressed with this motorhome. But as I said, one thing I didn't pick up on was the damp, and I'm going to explain why I didn't pick up on it by showing you the problem. Okay, you can see me. I thought to myself, I'll get the camera out now because it's no good explaining this after I've done it, but you can see it is absolutely sodden under here. Now on this board here, there was like a nylon-y fabric, a kind of stuff you get sometimes in carpet mats for cars. You know, the kind of stuff where everything gets trapped within it. Kind of nylon. So it's a nylon fabric covering this. And I think, how I've worked it out now, why it's got so damp is, I think it's because of these screws. I've watched a couple of other videos. Screws here. Now they didn't use galvanized screws, so they're just screwing into using normal screws, which have rusted and then maybe caused ingress from the seams. You can see it probably runs. The tops, what's confusing is these tops are dry up the top. I know it's falling down there, but that's just, it's not leaking. Not that I can see anywhere. So the boards at the top are dry. It's rotten at the bottom. So I think it's running down the corners onto the seams, getting trapped underneath, and then over time just working through the rusty holes. But I couldn't understand why it was so damp. And I think the reason is, so this is the plastic substructure. Okay, so this is the plastic that you see outside. It's hard to see because it's covered in rotten wood, and that was probably glue, I think, probably gluing it down originally. So you've got plastic underneath, you've got this nylon stuff on top, and I think what it is any moisture that got caught within the timber, within the plywood. Yeah, that is ply. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's still ply. Yeah, it is ply. But whatever moisture got caught in that board couldn't get out, so it could never dry out. So this, we might be looking at 22 years of moisture just being trapped and getting worse and worse. Because I can't understand why it should be so damp, especially I'm doing this in summer, so you would have thought that it would have dried out at least some of it. So what my plan is that get the board all the way off. How this fixes, so if you imagine that the skirt of the roof is here, okay, what you have are bolts that bolt down, and they've got a captive nut presumably welded onto the top of the roof that I've just shown you. So there's, I've left that one in there, I took it out here, but there's yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts, so hankering this down onto the top of the cab, and then you've got a cantilever, the board just cantilevers at the back. So what my plan is now, I've had to think about this. I'm going to build, this is the wrong way to do a bed anyway. Well, let me backtrack. Why I didn't catch this as damp is because none of the bedding, none of the mattress are damp. None of the bed pieces that go on here are actually damp. What went on these pieces here were another fillet. Okay, so it was a bit spongy, but it wasn't actually damp to the touch. So all the damp has been contained within this substructure. So my idea now is I'm going to build out of probably whatever thickness this is. It only looks about 1 inch. Actually no, that's the thickness there. So that's probably 40 mil. Whatever thickness this is, I might use 2 inch, 50 mil. I'm going to get aluminium rectangle, probably 2x1 aluminium, and I'm going to make this structure out of aluminium 2x1 rectangular aluminium. And then what I'm going to do is on the base of, so if you imagine this will be a substructure of aluminium here that is bolted down here to provide the cantilever, probably yeah, and fixed. So the pieces of aluminium are in a framework that are all fixed to one another, bolted down there to provide the cantilever, on the bolts. And then on the base of it, I think I'm going to rivet a piece of shower board. In the shower, I'm going to reline that because it's not in plastic. So what you buy is 2 mil plastic sheeting. So I'm going to, if you imagine that make the substructure in aluminium, Then cut out the base of it will be a shape of this plastic that's already in. Rivet that to the bottom of the frame, okay, and by doing that it will give me something to stick the plastic that's under here to the frame, and that way you should have a much more rigid structure. And the same with the sides here. Whatever I put on the sides in terms of aluminium, or however I build it, line the sides of it as well with the plastic, so that I can trim some more of this off and then stick the plastic to the aluminium frame. And then within the frame I will then put Celotex or rigid board insulation cut out to fit into the jigsaw puzzle that will be the making of the frame. So that'll give you an aluminium frame. It'll all be plastic. On the bottom it'll be Celotex or insulation board that doesn't absorb water, so if any water ever came in or got in eventually, you know, if it ever did get back in, it couldn't rot anything or stay within and would eventually evaporate off. And then on top of the aluminium racking, I'm going to just fit some struts that I've done in the camper van. The kind of struts that you get with from an IKEA bed, little laths that usually about I don't know, sometimes 900 in length. But what I'll do is I'll strut this lot, which will then again add a bit more rigidity to the frame, and it'll also give airflow between the frame, the Celotex, and the mattress bedding that goes on top. And with that, it should be a much better solution than Pilote ever did here. And we'll sort all this out. I'm going to fit a new vent here. There's 3 vents coming, because the motorhomes look much better once you fit a new frame, and these are all on the last legs anyway. And then the motorhome should look as good as it can look, because it's a really nice small motorhome, but with a dreadful problem. I wish you could smell inside this motorhome, because now this was another thing. Once I got this fabric, this nylon-y stuff up, it absolutely stunk, but you couldn't actually smell it before getting this up. You know, it was all contained within. So that's the first video. I thought I'd make a video just in case someone buys a motorhome, like with an overhead cab, and they find a problem like this and they think, oh my god, what am I going to do? Well, you know, it depends what the construction is of it, but it might not be as daunting or kind of earth-shattering as you may find in the beginning. I mean, this is by far the worst motorhome I've ever bought, and I've had about 10 now. So if I can get fooled, anybody can get fooled. And like I said, the reason why I got fooled is because of this fabric just holding the moisture in, that you couldn't actually tell it was damp. Okay, so I'll keep you up posted when I have ordered the aluminium and start making the frame and things like that. Till the next one.